Most people lose not because they are weak, but because they accept the first no as the final game over scream. In the game of life, we are often programmed to retreat at the first sign of overwhelming resistance. We mistake a temporary barrier for a permanent boundary. But what if the rules were different? What if the wall in front of you wasn't a stop sign, but a test of your architectural resolve? Today, I'll tell a story that helped one insurance agent unlock a principle of unshakable power. It's a story from the 19th century, a time of raw iron and cold stone. It's the story of a little girl, a tenant's daughter, and a mill owner known simply as the Giant. The mill was a place of shadows and grinding gears. The air was thick with dust and the smell of ancient timber. The man who ran it was a titan, muscular, bearded, and consumed by a perpetual boiling rage. He was the embodiment of the physical world's indifference to the small and the weak. One morning, as the heavy machinery roared, the door creaked open. In stepped the girl. She looked fragile, her clothes worn, but her posture was straight. She walked directly to the Giant and looked up. "My mother needs 50 cents, she said. Her voice was quiet, but it didn't shake. The Giant exploded. He roared with a fury that would have sent a grown man running for his life. "Get out of here before I throw you out," he screamed. He reached for a heavy wooden stave, a weapon that could crush a man's skull. Most people would have vanished, but the girl just stood there. She replied, "Yes, sir," but she didn't move an inch. The physical advantage was overwhelming. The Giant was a mountain. She was a sapling. He raised the stave, looming over her, blocking out the light. This was the moment of decision, the moment where most stories end in defeat. But then, the girl did something impossible. She didn't retreat. She took a step forward, straight into the Giant's space, looking directly into his bloodshot eyes. She screamed with every ounce of her soul, a sound that vibrated the very air of the mill. "My mother will get this money." Silence fell. The heavy gears of the mill seemed to slow. The Giant froze. His raised arm trembled. For the first time in his life, he wasn't facing a tenant. He was facing a force of nature. He slowly put the weapon down. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a 50-cent coin, and handed it to the child. She turned and walked out, leaving the Giant staring at the space where she had stood. What happened in that mill? The girl triggered what in business is called the point of no return. She created a psychological reality where the cost of resisting her was higher than the benefit of saying no. Most resistance you face, from your boss, from the market, from your own fear, is just inertia. It is the world's default setting. Until you create a conviction so absolute that it forces the world to change, you're just an NPC in someone else's game. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, taught us that while we cannot control the external world, we have absolute sovereignty over our internal space. In that mill, the girl didn't try to change the Giant's mind. She changed the reality of the space between them. She controlled her response so perfectly that the Giant had no choice but to renegotiate his own reality. This is the secret of the 99% who lose. They negotiate with their goals. They have a quit price. But the 1%? They set a point of no return. They decide that the objective is more certain than the sun rising. When you reach that state, the giants in your life, the hardships, the competitors, the brutal algorithms, they don't disappear because you got stronger. They vanish because your resolve became an immovable object. Maybe your 50 cents is already waiting. Maybe it's in the pocket of fate, or at the end of a project you're about to quit. You don't need more luck. You just have to not walk away. You have to take that one step forward when the stave is raised. Welcome to Life, Architect. Here, we don't just talk about motivation. We build the mental systems to turn chaos into order. YouTube algorithms are ruthless, and the noise of the world is loud. But focus is the ultimate power. Subscribe now to join a community of builders who refuse to accept the game over screen. Force the world to pay you your 50 cents. The door is open. The machinery is running. Press start. Become the architect. Your move.